Welcome to part 62 of What the Heck is Going On Here? Trials and Tribulations.
Alright.
Remember in the last part, we found out that the victim's true identity was that of Maya's mother, and also the cage that Maya supposedly locked in now has 5 locks as opposed to 1. Right. Is this what Godo was talking about? Yeah, the trick locks. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once.
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm afraid I can't.
Of course.
It's not possible for me.
But they said...
What?
Also,
Were you really expecting her to help you?
During the earthquake, when the cavern was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped.
Christ, pills of more help than you are.
Yeah.
And I know that there was only 1 lock when I last came here.
So you're saying that you can't undo the new locks?
Yes, that's what I just said, you deaf bitch.
Well, to
Yes.
be more specific. If only I was stronger!
and Edward immediately starts blaming on himself, yes.
How are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. Like you want to talk with your face all green.
Is Edgeworth gonna start going, I'm so lame?
Thankfully not.
I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip on yourself.
Of course, Francisca
Don't
wants
be
to be
ridiculous,
left
man.
with
Perfectly fine!
There's no telling what sort of mistakes you could make in your current state.
See?
What a nice
Because you
sister.
exactly have idea what you're gonna do with Iris.
Go and get some rest. That's your only concern now, Miles Edgeworth.
Rest now!
Get the fuck outside.
Understood. I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here.
Well, it's either you walk out or she chases you out. You know, you don't really have an option.
Edgeworth. He's got so much pride that he's probably off crying in the corner of the garden.
Pride is simply another trap that
Hinders
That's
us.
one must have pride to be effective. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Phoenix Wright.
Oh,
I'm going to stay here and see if I can't help solve these bothersome things.
Puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. Now then, do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris?
No, not at all.
Good.
But first, I
I
need to
can't
look at the
promise I'll
locks.
actually give you a straight answer, though. I'm just saying.
It's an antique dresser.
Don't you dare open it, Phoenix Wright. Oh, we've already read this.
Yeah, I thought there'd be something different, go figure.
Ah, okay.
Now I know how Maya feels. Blah.
What a pity. It's just full of old clothes for acolytes.
I thought we weren't opening it!
I'm from the prosecutor's office. I can do anything.
You're a girl. This door. When I was here earlier, there was only 1 lock, but now there's 5 of them.
I love how Siri gets the girl part down pat, but I get the German part down pat.
Well,
I've never seen locks quite like these before.
I have. I've seen locks and chains just like these before. To be fair, Dweeb's going off of her objection. While she may be German, she doesn't have the thick German accent.
also Phoenix kind
He
of
goes
sees
to
the
beat on it.
chains.
We'll see what the dub of the anime goes with for her.
More likely chains that are actually capable of tearing apart space and time, but that's another topic for another game.
True. Why would anyone cover it in gravy?
I can't make out what's drawn on this scroll at all. I never understand you Americans and your so-called artists.
Artist?
Yeah, right.
Could you take
Yeah,
a look at this for
She's
me,
not,
Iris?
she's not interested in the back.
Ow!
The looks are far more important at this moment.
She is a point.
Right. I'm going to have to hold off on asking her about things for now.
I can imagine you cannot present anything else.
I never really tried.
I got it. If you get whipped too many times, you fail the case.
Teo,
No, because it's the elf bar.
Teo, just because the game clearly indicated to us that it's not the time to do that. I mean, it's not like doing the exact opposite the game tells us to do will ever get us progress, right?
It still hurts, I guess.
For the record, Webb's Blue Dragon reference.
In other words, I feel like these are going faster than I should.
Maybe. Might be the frame rate.
Sometimes our fingers slip, Shiroi, sorry.
That too.
What? Then I saw these chains here. I saw all these extra locks that someone had put on the Sacred Cabin's door. Who in the world would have done something like this?
I do wonder.
A weaponsmith, something.
I
like
don't
that.
want to point fingers.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is important, actually.
These trick blocks are...
Sacred treasure.
It's the only way person who can see a lock can open it.
Basically, there's 100 ways to set these locks, which means that basically, if someone sets it a particular way, you have to know how to unlock it that particular way.
Oh, so each one requires its own specific combination.
I like how
At least
people
for these
using her
rules, I
name.
mean.
Yep.
Am I voicing anyone in this part?
Well, your backup Shiro in case for Francisca, remember.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Ask me what it means!
Ask me what it means.
It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more.
Well, at least they explain what it means.
And they wanted to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. This means that Iris can only open one of these locks. The first one.
Yes, that's correct.
That she said.
What?
Iris, try to think, please. Isn't there any way we can work around this?
I can try to cut the chains with a clipper, the thing
Or
the
we
gigantic
could,
chain.
Or chainsaw.
dig a hole.
You
You don't want to dig a hole in Foundation this week.
You don't have to use dynamites or drills.
The thing is that the locks are apparently part of... the chains are apparently part of the lock.
How convenient.
It'll take time, won't it?
It's like a Psyche-Lock, only in real life.
I had to guess.
It's like a Psyche-Lock, you have to come back later to try and solve it. A whole day?!
Well, that's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us?
It's better than nothing.
It's gonna try all 100 possibilities on
Sure.
each.
I'll do whatever I can.
Got to wait another day? Hang in there, Maya. You're going to have to call upon your inner strength now.
She's eating her own hair in
stomach,
there.
too. You know what, Iris? There's still one thing I don't quite get.
What is that?
And what might that be, Phoenix Wright?
Glad you asked. I think it's obvious. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident. But you were seen that same evening at the Inner Temple. And then... you were spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple, too.
Being spotted at both Hazakura Temple and the Inner Temple? It's as if you were...
A ghost.
Perish the thought. Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth.
Maybe.
This time.
Oh, here we
Of
go.
course.
So,
Oh,
3
it's only 3 at
Cyclops.
least.
So let's see. There was 5 for the time when she had a secret from Phoenix, 5 when she had a secret from Edgeworth, 2 that Edgeworth had to solve, and now
Jesus
these
fucking
3.
Christ.
That's a total of 15 Cyclops she has now.
To the
You are a
garden.
complex individual.
Yes, she is. The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's going to be a tough job.
Oh, hi, Edge.
Yeah, especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. Threatening your
But he's
patrons
always-
to stand around.
He's always this angsty.
Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him.
Be right back.
Edgeworth? Ah!
You ran away?
Hey! You run away!
Yeah, he did.
Get back here!
Oh, stop, come
What
back.
do you want, Wright? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it.
Haven't we already been
Get
through
on
this
with
with you?
it.
It's like
Go
that
on,
Gundam episode.
laugh
I
away.
came here to laugh at you.
Ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? Ever so depressing music for a third game. You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris. Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible.
Oh boy.
You'll see what that is sooner or later. For now,
Okay.
let's present profiles.
Of course.
If you want to know how to run the perfect trial, there's a lot to study and learn. Oh, is that what you're studying about right now? I've sat at the prosecutor's bench for trials in 5 different countries now. America, England, Wales, Portugal, and Italy. First thing you do is gain complete mastery of the language. It's rather trying, though.
Well, for you, but for a main protagonist, it's as easy as being that.
I know, right? Like, wait till
Actually,
I start going abroad.
You'd be surprised, Shiro. In Nihil, the one made by Tecmo Koei, it's all about an English person, well, more like Dutch, getting into Japan and knowing shit about the language. So he actually has to get a spirit animal in the shape of a cat with just one eye, don't ask, that allows him to speak Japan.
Anyway,
Right.
it seems Francisco wants to eat you alive and whip you, literally and metaphorically. Oh. Go on, let her have a way. It would make for a great anecdote about my trip. Forget it, Edgeworth! Christ, you let your own crazy sister do that to you! Apparently, he had become something of an apprentice to Elise Duno.
I said it before, I just don't think he feels like it's worth it, trying to stand up to her at all.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's just leave it at that about Larry. Alright.
Yeah,
Looks
thank
like
you.
someone's still mad at the Butts for his performance in court today.
He's a pain in my butts.
Oh.
He's something of a legend, I hear.
But nobody seems to know anything about him.
Now here's where it's actually suspicious. Remember how in the second case Luke Atme himself said that Edgeworth had apparently given his blessings to this new prosecutor? But Edgeworth himself doesn't know much about him.
That's true.
Interesting. I'm always well informed about the rookies coming into the prosecutor's office, you know. Men, you mean he isn't anything special?
That's true, actually.
You should already know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Although, there is one other possibility. What's that? Could have come into the profession from a different channel. What different channel?
5?
There's more than one way to become a prosecutor, right? Perhaps he started off as a defense attorney, but decided it wasn't for him.
I wonder.
A defense attorney? I didn't even know you could switch Besides like that. And you actually can! Well,
Edgeworth has been doing that for you, Phoenix.
Edgeworth, you can indirectly go from Arsenal to Chelsea like that. That's like the equivalent of, say, that'd be like the equivalent. Someone give me a good equivalent.
The equivalent of going from rookie to ace?
No, I got.
Oh no, that's a great passage. It means switching between the opposite sides.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like going from, say, Japan to Alaska?
Didn't Phoenix start off in art before he went into law?
Well, art was his major. It was just a means of him to get into law as well.
That's not the strangest thing I've heard. I mean, remember the guy who played the Sixth Doctor Who was a lawyer before he became an actor.
Mm-hmm. It also the opposite with Ronald Reagan.
Seems Pearl was trapped on the side during the murder. Did she tell you anything? Listen, Wright. She's just a kid. Can't force things out of her. You'll have to be the one to find out what she knows.
Of course.
Hey, speaking of US presidents, I actually saw a recent news report, and I'm surprised Jimmy Carter's still alive.
Yeah, you hang in there.
He was walking down the plane shaking people's hands.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, as far as I can tell, she has no reason to deceive us. I just can't wrap my head around it, right? A witness who hasn't lied on the stand.
I know, right?
That's automatically the most suspicious thing about any of this, though.
Exactly.
I mean, aside from Gumshoe, most witnesses have always, at some point, told a lie.
And Gumshoe is legitimately screwing up.
One of the biggest names in the world
part.
of law. For better or for worse, we were only destined to meet once in the courtroom. I know, I read all about it. It was the first time for the both of us, two novices, head to head. Can still remember how downhearted I felt after that trial ended the way it did. I wonder if Mia felt the same way too. Yeah, she went into retirement for a year. What do you think? Oh, I was just with Detective Gumshoe. I treated him to some pasta.
Oh.
Aww.
Oh, nice.
You owe him that much. After all, it's your fault his salary is so low.
Yeah.
Well, yours, your sisters, and possibly other prosecutors.
It's everyone's
How's
fault.
it my fault? And look, if you're gonna buy the guy lunch, at least give him something decent, okay?
Excuse me?
Gumshoe practically lives on pasta and noodles already.
But, excuse me,
Well-
Phoenix, pasta and noodles are two completely different things.
Well, okay.
Parmesan
Well,
cheese on top. Oh, I love it. He was crying tears of joy as he dug into it.
Actually,
All you have to do is give the poor guy a raise.
I think the word raise exists in Edgeworth vocabulary.
well.
I don't know
See,
my
the thing
FA
is,
very well.
well, see,
Oh,
the
wait, this one. Oh,
okay.
seems to me that the girl's always landing herself in trouble. Seems to me that you know her better than you think. I do sincerely hope she's going to be alright. Go on, Pedro.
Well, the thing is, too, don't get me wrong, I love pasta as much as the next guy, but it's not exactly the most nutritious of foods.
excuse me? Actually, it is Pedro.
Well,
Objection.
Granted, I'm not a cook, but I've always heard it wasn't.
Pasta has its ups and downs.
And remember, it also depends how you do it.
I guess. Sure.
Anyway, if the ground... I'm thankful that the nightmares have stopped, but if the ground so much as trembles... 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school, Ezra found himself in the middle of a murder.
For those who don't...
Yeah, we'll never forget that.
a little recap for those who haven't played the first game.
You know, remember when during the first game we were just hinted at what DL6 was? Little did we know DL6 was the start of this whole franchise when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father.
Well, now that we have the Greatest
Defense
Attorney,
lawyer.
technically the Greatest Attorney is what started this now. So.
True. True. I look.
I think what he means is DL6 is the whole catalyst to this.
Yeah, true.
This entire trilogy. This is.
I guess it's just a coincidence that Phoenix ended up being a defense lawyer like his great-grandpappy. I lost everything that day because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family.
So
Oh.
so it's like in Twister, an earthquake killed him.
Blah,
so
blah,
it's
blah.
responsible.
Only Edgeworth does not think that earthquakes are evil. Thank you very much.
Blah blah blah. My parents are dead. Moving on.
And that case was finally resolved 3 years ago, right? By a clever defense lawyer. You think I don't know that? I was there! Shock. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself. And my life. I'm sorry, Wright. There's nothing else I can say.
He's one of the most tragic people in this franchise.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
Like I said, remember, this guy used to be hated before his big character development.
Plus, he spent most of his life believing that he murdered his own father.
Which sadly explains why he was so tough on criminals, and yeah, that comes back to a point when you think about how he was hard on Terry Falls. There was something about her that bothered me. I feel like I've seen her somewhere before.
Well, sure. Wait till you get to meet Athena from Ace Attorney 5.
Not somewhere.
Okay.
I feel like I've seen her in the court before. So, you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look for her file? Yes. I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I had seen her face before. 6 years ago.
I was right.
6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court, and as cases go, it's my worst nightmare. So, who is she? ... I'm sorry, Wright. Can't give that information away to a member of the general public.
Of course.
What? Why not? It might be a crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case.
What a tease.
I said no.
The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple.
Yeah, sure.
Neither did the case.
I don't believe you.
Well, Edgeworth gonna blurt out the.
Look,
No,
look.
that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Highlighted in orange? Yes. I can say that with complete confidence.
As your ranking.
Edgeworth.
Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case.
Yeah.
Edgeworth, take a seat.
I need to explain the connection between Iris and that woman to
But we're not in Ace Attorney investigations yet.
Edgeworth. She's in the court record. Therefore, she has something to do with this.
Wait a minute. Oh shoot, she isn't.
Oh. Fuck.
Never mind.
But
Never
guys are
mind.
putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here. And there's a high chance that
Why is
this
she
is
not
the
on the
actual
court
scene of the
record?
crime.
That's such a good point. Why is she not on the court record? That's a good point.
Because we haven't met her in this case yet.
For a
Yeah.
good reason. Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder. But surely you don't suspect Maya, do you?
Yes, Maya apparently killed herself. She's the culprit.
You have to treat everyone as a suspect.
She planned.
Iris.
She planned her own murder.
No. Suspected of killing Elise Dunham.
Oh.
Crad Maya may be a suspect that we have to prove innocent in court.
And she trapped herself in that thing as her alibi, I guess. Sure.
Thankfully, she's not the prime suspect for once.
I guess, yeah.
Yay.
Well, it's not the second case. So.
Hey, it only becomes a running thing if we have to prove her innocent in court somehow.
Oh.
But I'm sure we'll never have to do that again.
No, not at all.
Sure.
Okay, now get ready, folks. This is where something that none of you saw coming, probably didn't see coming, is going to happen. And I mean, this is actually even bigger than the victim being Maya's mother. Maybe I'll...
The victim was also Maya's father? I don't know.
Oh. That thing looks like it's ready to collapse, at least more than it did before. Though good job on Gumshoe for getting it in working condition.
I still
I had
wouldn't
a
walk
feeling
over that
something
bridge
bad
for
was
the
going to
life of
happen when
me.
they mentioned earthquakes, and sure enough, it did. Yep, Ezra definitely couldn't live up here. Never mind the fact that it's the site of quite possibly his most traumatic case.
I'm over here, right? I can hear you.
All the way from over there on the island away?
Yes.
Mr. Nick?
Pearl!
Pearls! What are you doing here?
Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright?
Yeah, about that.
Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah,
You don't know yet.
I'm disappointed
Yeah, we
this didn't
don't
take place
know
near.
I see.
I'm disappointed this didn't take place near a volcano.
Hey!
Then
What do you think you're doing here, Nick?
Okay,
A job well done.
Okay, Dwibs, there are weird living conditions and then there are suicidal ones living near an active volcano.
This is the lizard shack, where lizards get the... whatever.
Believe it or not, some people do live on active volcanoes.
Hey! We find comfort in each other's failures, okay?
I will
You gonna
never
follow that?
understand those people.
So yeah, now this has become the loser shack. Now why Pearl?
Mr. Larice did a picture of me. It's
That's,
horrible.
great, Pearls.
We're going to gather firewood now.
Okay.
What for?
We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. So stay on. Wow, well, things have transitioned into full-on self-loathing. This is getting serious.
I don't believe it. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man?
I want to lose the word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down.
Excuse me, who's the guy who got you found innocent? In court, mind you?
Mystic Maya. Yeah.
Mystic Maya did not know Mr. Butts before that time. It's so inappropriate, this art stuff. Like Sister Bikini in a bikini. I gotta think of the kittens.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that either.
Pearls? It's no good.
No.
It's
No
no
condition
use.
to look at anything from
It's
me
no
right
use.
now.
It's no use.
Alright then, let's talk. Let's talk to these two quote-unquote losers. Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture?
Hey! I've got nothing to say to you, Nick. Mama's here now, with Pearl. Two losers cooking potatoes together for... So not only has he embraced... So he cannot be a loser anymore. Now he's dragged Pearl into his own misery.
Mr. Nick, please help me.
Actually, surprisingly, he didn't drag Pearl into this, which we're about to find out.
He's a
I
hermit
think
now.
it's really well drawn.
Pearl...
I think. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing.
So it's
See?
like if somebody
Someone
who never played
appreciates
a
it.
video game
It's tough
before
getting the
thought Final
flames to look
Fantasy
like that, you
13 was
know?
great.
Okay, what did I miss?
Basically,
Larry has dragged Pearls down to his level.
yeah,
Why?
More or
Holy
less.
shit.
Basically, they're both considering themselves losers. Larry, because, well, obvious. He's really down. But Pearl, we don't know why yet.
basically, now Larry calls this the shack of losers, and now him and Pearl are just two losers living together and shit, and being losers and shit. So
And they're going to cook rotten potatoes over a campfire.
Misery. By the way, Tia, were you there when it was mentioned that Maya may be a suspect in Elise's murder?
Yeah.
not you too.
Yeah.
Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Don't look at me while I'm some kind of nutcase. I beg of you. I'm not crazy. I'll kill anyone who says I am.
I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw.
He's more sane than Iron Fist.
Okay, so I was half asleep during it, but I was wide awake after the lightning struck,
I'd expect you to be after that.
and I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in the picture.
And again, he's not lying. Like I don't have any choice but to take the sketch at face value, God help.
Hey, what's with the look of doubt on your face?
I wanted to know where this is leading, but I have a bad idea. I already know. Pearls?
Yes, Mr. Nick?
Now let's find out why Pearls feels she's a loser. I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the murder.
Gasp.
Where were you, and what exactly were you doing when it all
Please,
happened?
no Psyche-Locks.
Psyche-Lock coming in.
I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know?
What has that got to do with
Oh,
anything?
crime dramas.
Pearl? What did you do?
I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing.
Yes, it does. Now please tell us.
Pearl. Sorry, Pearls. But yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Dunham's room reading a book together. But Miss Dunham was murdered, and you, Pearls, were at the inner temple where it happened. May have happened. Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls?
This is awful. This is all kinds of awful.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick.
You think that's bad, Shiroi? Wait till you see what's coming next.
Psyche-Locks.
Oh,
How
of
many?
course.
A lot.
5.
Oh.
Or, yeah, this is a Psyche-Lock fest.
I've been a bad girl.
5 Psyche-Locks concerning where and what she was doing during the murder.
I know I'll be punished.
But I'm gonna lie still. But I'm still gonna make your life harder anyway.
For
Yes.
reference, in Justice for All, she only had 2 Psyche-Locks when it involved the ball. Here, it's 5. Take that into consideration.
My spiritual power, it has disappeared.
What? Her powers have disappeared?
Oh,
And
how
that's
convenient.
why she thinks
So
she's
she cannot
evil
channel
too.
anymore, Mia?
No, not Mia, not anyone, apparently. What do you mean your powers disappeared, Pearls? And she thinks she's being punished for whatever she did last night, and that's why she thinks she's a loser.
It's all over for me.
So she lost her powers because...
Well, she
Crazy,
Being
is.
so-
who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. So
Oh.
Larry,
Hey! What are you looking at me for?
Just stay in the
Yes, I
background,
called
please.
it.
Pearls. Do you try to channel someone's spirit right here at the Hazakura Temple?
What if like a secret
Ding, ding,
spirit
ding.
medium tried
Tried
channeling
but failed,
her?
perhaps?
Oh.
Poor.
Way to go, Nick. You made her cry.
You stay in the background, please.
Yeah, go
That
away.
was really cruel of you.
Oh,
Great, now he's crying.
Just as I thought. I'm going to have to break her Cyclops to get the truth out of her.
When I find you two, I'm gonna...
What has my life become?
So, there you go, guys. It seems that Pearl may have been involved in the murder, more so than anyone else, judging up with the number of Cyclops.
Meanwhile,
Every day we stray away from God's light.
Shiroi, high five.
Jovah, I think we've lost Pedro and Leroy.
Yes, we have. We've lost them to the crying madness.
We'll get them back for part 63.
See ya.
See you then.
See everybody.
See ya.